Okay, welcome to the SIBO Help webinar. This is going to be an hour-long video, but we're going to make it as quick and enticing as possible because we're walking through my exact personal journey with intestinal methane overgrowth. So if you've been on 4 rounds of rifaximin from your provider, please stick around. If you are having that distension that feels like you're 6 months pregnant, or you're just the laxatives or the magnesium or any of the things you've thrown at your gut are not working, this is a great training for you today as well. So everyone is welcome. And I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Okay. So go ahead and put in the chat how you know me. Are you connected through Lifetime Water and Wellness? Are you connected through YouTube? Did you find me on Eventbrite? Just throw in the chat there. I'm curious. Well, thanks. Let's see what you got. Yeah, own it, girl. Lifetime Water and Wellness was a brick and mortar in Solana Beach for 7 years, and Heather found me on Eventbrite. Awesome, Heather. So glad. So I'm going to be asking too some questions throughout. So feel free to ask questions in chat. I'll take questions at the 45-minute mark or so. So please stick around if you can. This is a good time if you need to grab some tea or some coffee and settle in. I invite you to just actually take a minute and experience a training where you're fully present. This is part of the healing process and co-regulating that we all can use, especially at this time in this day and age. Oh, Tari, oh my gosh, your mama, right? I thought Terry's Regan's mama. So thank you. Wait, let me know if you're Regan's mom or not, or a friend. Okay. Mama. Okay, good. I was like, I don't know if it was with an E or with an A. Okay. Awesome. I'm so excited you're here, Terry, because this has been 2 years in the making, and I'm so excited to present it. So before we get into it, I just want to give you a couple disclaimers that this is for educational purposes only today, and please consult your licensed provider before acting on any of this content. And if you stick around with the live, I'm giving you my SIBO protocol today. So thank you for being here. It's so much more fun to present to people in this space that are live. And the quality and quantity of my health and wellness coaching service, which is my tier 1, is not dependent on any product or purchase. So that's that. Okay. So just so that we're all on the same page, I want to invite a definition of SIBO. It's a health condition. So it's not a formal diagnosis. So if you go to your provider, a licensed conventional doctor, they're most likely going to be like, what? Or best case, they will hand you a Rifaximin script for an antibiotic, which has definitely worked for people in the past. I am not a licensed provider. And so if anybody knows me on this channel, you're going to know that I'm more of a natural health seeker. And I'll show you how you can clear your SIBO without antibiotics or medications. Okay. SIBO is synonymous with IBS. They're sisters. What was so interesting to me just last year, Dr. Pimentel out of Cedars-Sinai in LA, his research showed that 60% of people with the diagnosis of IBS, it comes from 2 pathogenic strains. E. coli, and Klebsiella. You can find this out on a stool test. And he also has tests to determine if it was an infection that caused the IBS. So wild. So gets back to what we're going to talk about today, which is root cause. And so that chronic infection could cause this gut dysbiosis or gut imbalance, and then create this condition called SIBO. See how it kind of rises up? So we're gonna talk all about this. Oh, I need to skip that. There's some people in our space, in functional space, like Dr. Gundry, I have so much respect for. But he's like, yeah, SIBO doesn't exist, just seal leaky gut. He's not wrong, but it's like, tell any of us that have had SIBO that it doesn't exist. And it's really hard to seal a leaky gut when you have gut dysbiosis. So, and then another doctor that I saw speak is like, wanted to call it something different. So I'll let them battle that out. But who I follow and who I would love to sit next to on a plane is Dr. William Davis. He's the man. He is the author of the Super Gut book. If you haven't had it or haven't read it, I highly suggest it. And this is a quote from him. You can begin to appreciate that almost no modern health condition can be fully understood or managed unless the contribution of a disrupted microbiome, including its ascent into the small intestine, is recognized. You get a sense that almost no modern non-traumatic disease can be properly and fully managed without attention to the contribution of the GI microbiome. And man, I lived it, I believe it. So just a couple quick facts. If you have hypothyroid or Hashimoto's, which is an autoimmune disorder, you have a 2.4 times higher SIBO risk. 100% of people with fibromyalgia have SIBO. So I'm going to explain a little bit more about the mechanisms of why it touches so many chronic issues, but these are some quick facts for you. So I'm here because I want to help people find the energy and peace to live out their purpose, and freedom is one of my values. And so as we get into the content today, one of the things that I've learned with picking and choosing a provider is we co-regulate, we co-regulate together. So it's if we can just take in a breath, and I'm going to show you what I learned from Dr. Amy Apigian at her book discussion in San Marcos, California. If you're seated or somewhere where you can do this, take a breath in. And I'm going to invite you to do a VOOV breath, which is this. So as long as you can VOO out, all that's doing, I can feel it immediately. All that's doing is regulating and supporting that vagus nerve, which is going to help with that parasympathetic tone, and it really helps you just focus, and great to do in the morning. And let me know if you did it and if you felt anything different in the chat. So just a handful of strategies can yield benefits across a number of health conditions, and that's why I love SIBO. It's like a bowling ball. It hits so many things. Can't wait to show you. Oh, good, Terry. Good student. Okay, so some of you have seen this before, Terry and Regan, but basically root cause is everything below the surface. So all the symptoms, your diagnoses, that's on the top. That's what we see, or we can evaluate, we can fix, right? Or heal. But all the drivers are below the surface. And that's just 5 things. Gut dysbiosis, which is that gut bacterial imbalance, chronic infections, environmental toxins, trauma, overwhelm, toxic stress. I love Dr. Amy's work because she's like, if you don't like the word trauma, just replace it with overwhelm because that's what's happening biologically in our bodies, and nutrient deficiencies. SIBO is a condition, so it's not technically a root cause, but it's brought out from the gut dysbiosis. So another way to look at it, for those people that are visual learners like me, I see SIBO kind of at the trunk, you know. So this is how we look at disease in functional medicine, is like all of these symptoms are branches and all of these things are roots. So all of these drive all the symptoms that are on the branches. So if we can clean up the terrain and the soil and have all the roots be getting what it needs, then these conditions will clear up like SIBO, and we can start to roll back these symptoms in our health. So all of these symptoms listed here are a result of these root cause. And this is, again, where functional nutrition and functional medicine is poised and ready to support the modern health issues in today's age. So if you have been biohacking, I know I have some couple biohackers in here who drink hydrogen-rich water. Heck yeah. Reducing oxidative stress on their cells. Heck yeah. Maybe you're doing some treatment, some specialized treatment options. Heck yeah. Maybe you're doing a low FODMAP, they need, usually it's capitalized. You're maybe making Dr. Davis's Super SIBO yogurt. Maybe you are really focused on your exercise and sleep. All these things are awesome. So I'm just going to show you a very practical, approachable, and a systematic way to approach the bloating, the constipation, the diarrhea, the distension, the digestive issues. So keep doing all these things, but we're going to get you feeling a lot better. So when you wake up, you've got the energy and peace to live out your purpose. Instead of what this was from Dr. Christine Burke, but I was like, oh yeah, this is what I've been hearing from clients. It's like they'll go to an ND or a doctor and they'll spend $250 for a 45-minute consult and they're more confused, or they are DIYing their health. I had an old Lifetime Water client. We went on a walk the other day and she was saying how she uses her AI assistant to help with a lot of health things. And sometimes it can get just really confusing. And that's unfortunately kind of what's going on in our world. So this is why I believe I'm here, is we're the trained people in between the doctor and the patient. So there's a gap. And I believe functional medicine and health coaching is filling this gap for people. And so I'm going to share my personal story around intestinal methane overgrowth and small intestinal fungal overgrowth. Most doctors will not share their lab data and personal photos. And this is why I was inspired to do it, is there was a group, a chiropractor and a wife who did lab work and then a story, a lab work and a story on a recent training. And I thought it was just so inspiring and fun. So that's why I'm doing it. I'm just like, whatever, I'm just going to go do it. So thank you for being here. So I'm going to show you how I cleared my breath test without my breath levels without Rifaximin script, and what I will do moving forward so my SIBO doesn't come back, which is really exciting. So at the end of the class, I'll hang back and answer any questions and show you how to work with me. And if that sounds good, awesome, let's do it. So here's the agenda. We're going to understand the SIBO and its significance. It's not going to take too long, but I wanted to do that. And then all the diagnosing, SIBO, SIFO, IMO, photos, lab work, all the juicy things, and then how to treat. And so I'm going to share my protocol, and then I just posted a really great explanation article on my website that I'll also share, and you'll all get a recording sent out tomorrow. Thank you. Okay, so How did I know I had SIBO? So back in 2020, I mean, you guys, that was, 6 years ago. What? What? Am I doing the math? Yeah. So this was my biome score. Let me know in the chat if you've done a biome test. Biome's great. I mean, it's really inexpensive. The problem with biome is that it doesn't break down any of the species. And it's really unhelpful in that manner for people that practice functional medicine. So this was before I was a provider, and I was at my ideal weight. I was pooping 3 times a day, but I had just gotten over my first of 3 infections of COVID. And my inflammatory activity was high and my gut lining wasn't optimal. So this was my first indicator of like, wait, like I feel great. What's going on, right? This is just when if your doctor's like, oh, SIBO doesn't exist, SIBO's not a thing. Dr. Davis and so many other providers Dr. Allison Seebecker, Dr. Mark Pimentel, Dr. Ruscio, Siobhan Sharna has a whole, anyway, these are the people that I follow. Look at this. So I'm going to show you some of my lab works that touch all of these things, but I was producing gas. So it was methane gas in my particular experience, but you can also produce hydrogen gas, which is different from the hydrogen we drink. By the way, it's these microbes are producing this gas. So it produces flagellants, abdominal pain, abdominal distension, diarrhea. It produces the fatty liver, the vitamin deficiency. It produces those LPSs, which are these little pieces of shit. It's basically dead cell parts that cross our barrier for our gut. And then our immune system is like, that's foreign, let me fire up. So that's where the autoimmune and the immune issues start to happen with systemic inflammation. And the fecal calprotectin is a marker on a gut test, and that's just high inflammation, decreased the decreased production of the SCFAs. Oh God, I had those. They were very low, and intestinal inflammation and increased permeability. So I had all these. So here's some signs, more signs. I had fiber or fatty liver confirmed on a FibroScan, which is a very expensive test. Hypothyroid confirmed on a serum blood lab. Weight gain, methane or methanogen-based SIBO makes you gain weight. Oh, that's fun. Autoimmunity confirmed on serum blood lab. In my case, it was TPO antibodies for Hashimoto's. Food sensitivities confirmed on serum, fatigue self-reported, small intestinal bacterial overgrowth reported on my breath tests, SIFO, and then low SCFAs, anxiety, mood swings. I had irritation and anger, and sleep disturbances, elevated delta on my HRV tests. I was having fun. So this is why I work in the gut, is because of this slide. We are more microbe than human. There are trillions of bacteria, fungi, and viruses living in us, and they outnumber our human genes by 150 to 1. Another analogy, because I'm a health coach and I love analogies, our gut, if we like split it open, between our small intestine, our large intestine, and just everything from our liver over all this down here, if we split it open, it's the size of a tennis court. If you've been watching the Australian Open, it's like that big. So these microbes are regulating immunity, hormones, metabolism, mood, skin detoxification, and more. And when you have low diversity of these microbes, certain species disappear, and serotonin, for instance, and butyrate, which comes from these SCFAs, it they stop to function, or they don't function as well. And this is where the gut-brain axis comes into play too, because if this gut dysbiosis is going on, then the neurotransmitter and the gut barrier issue leads to the neuroinflammation, which is really implicated in a lot of mental health and neurological conditions, which is why I get so excited about the gut. So some causes of SIBO, autoimmunity, and gut and toxic load could be, I've reviewed over hundreds of genetic reports now of my clients, and here are mine. And this field is nutrigenomics. And so these are the genes we know that can change with diet and lifestyle. And so, for instance, I have the FUT2 SNP. This one is implicated in gut bacteria balance. So when this goes off because of lifestyle and/or environment or chronic stress, then it's really difficult, or can be harder to get this into balance. I also have an HLA that's really implicated in gluten sensitivity, but also autoimmunity, and the MTHFR variants, which are really key for methylation. And all that means is that it is implicated in 250 biochemical processes in the body. So if we're not methylating, a lot of function is not happening in our body. So here's some more reasons for maybe why my SIBO condition developed. And this is in Dr. Davis's book as well. So you could have, if you had a history of reproductive issues, in my case, I always had undiagnosed endometriosis or PCOS. I don't know which one it was, but I had an abdominal surgery in 2011 for an ovarian cyst removal of a cyst that was the size of a grapefruit. And got vacuumed out with all the polyps. So I've always had the reproductive issues it goes in my family. History of constipation. Moving into 2021 into an old 9-year-old beach house. So there's we've renovated even more, but took out some old carpet. Oof. Some things that needed to go. So that could be causing some dysbiosis issues with mold and/or environmental mycotoxins. Stress during this time was COVID times. So however you feel about them, I lost a teaching position. I believe that the public health recommendations were terrible. The mandating was very stressful for me. And I was building a business, earning multiple health certifications, and had a recent wedding, both beautiful and stressful. So the occasional glass of wine now, 15 years ago, or 15 years, I lived in Sonoma County, California, the wine country of California, drinking lots of California wine, and wine is made with yeast. So think about gut dysbiosis. I got SARS-CoV-2 3 times, the wild type, and had other prior viral infections. International travel and food poisoning. This is particularly important. I got back from Mexico and had food poisoning. I knew I did because it wasn't the vomiting, but it was the diarrhea, but it was uncontrolled. I had never had that in my life. So that slide that I showed you with Dr. Pimentel's research around that infection being a cause of SIBO could have very well just been that food poisoning episode. What about living under a busy flight path and the heavy metals? What about a history of food poisoning? Oh, I just shared. What about recurrent childhood ear infections that correlates to mold exposure. What about high allostatic load? Toxins, parasites, herbicides, pesticides, these all contribute to SIBO. So this is just a reminder that Dr. Davis and any of the research says that about 50% of the population is estimated to have this condition. Okay, so this is the understanding SIBO and its significance. And I want to run through the diagnosing piece so you guys can see some of the pictures and lab work. And then we'll get into the treatment and I'll share the protocol and my course, my program. Okay, let me know in the chat how you doing. Is there anything that you learned from this first part that you didn't know? Yes, Reagan's talking about the LPS. Yeah, it's that's always a good reminder. Ask your AI assistant just to talk about LPS and all the conditions that are related to LPS, these little pieces of shit that I like to call that basically are uh, cell parts that are dead that cross the epithelial lining of our gut and trigger our immune system. So it's basically leaky gut. Dr. Gundry has tons of work on this. Thanks, Heather. Oh my gosh, champion. It's a lot, and I think that's why SIBO has, all the people that I follow, how I look at it, it's just there's a lot of inputs. And so what I'm hoping to show you today is that the treatment is simplified. Yes. All right, this is me. This is January of 2023, and I'm next to one of my health heroes. This is Dr. Tom O'Brien. Amazing work on gluten, amazing work on autoimmunity. Please read his books, follow his work. So you can tell I'm so uncomfortable here, guys. Just that distension, classic, just distension, bloating, and, we're eating healthy. So in my case, I had methanogen overgrowth, which are these single cell archaea. They're actually quite ancient bacteria. They're actually called methanogens in the gut, and they're so hardy that they can survive temperatures of the Yellowstone's hot springs. So you can imagine how hard they are to reduce in our gut if they're overgrowing. So, it's February. I'm eating all the good salads that I know to do, and I'm making the L-reuteri yogurt from Dr. Davis's book, Super Gut. But I'm like, what's going on? All of this bloating has never really, and distension and constipation has never really happened before. So I went and saw my functional nutritional counselor and mentor teacher, Andrea Nakayama, and in March of 2023. And their team determined subclinical hypothyroid at the time with my serum blood labs and suggested SIBO. So I was like, let's go. This is another photo of me just showing the distension. This is May of 2023. And sure, I mean, it's the insulin resistance but the idea here is that the weight gain is also coming from this IMO. And this was about 2 months before my wedding, you guys. So I was doing my very darndest to do all the right things. Promise. And it's been a struggle. So August, this is after my wedding. I'm like, okay, let's do all the things to test and like really just get rid of this condition. I wanted it gone. I was very frustrated. Um, so I did my breath test. This is my first official one. I will tell you, breath testing is not the easiest thing in the world because you have to have it be challenged, meaning you have to fast, only eat certain things before you test. I'll show you all the things. It's kind of annoying. So what I will share is that nowadays the doctors share that just getting one baseline and then getting below 90%, your symptoms are better by 90%. You don't have to keep testing, testing, testing. So that's encouraging. So this was back in 2023 where Food Marble, which is an at-home breath test, anything above a 4, according to Dr. Davis's work, suggested SIBO. And so the black, so you can see the dark blue, that's methane gas that I was producing, and just a short amount of the hydrogen. The methane overgrowth is worse than the hydrogen SIBO because the methanogens, which are those single cell archaea, actually eat the hydrogen. So I was feeding. They were eating and feeding, and there was a lot of gas going on. So, real quick, intestinal methane overgrowth. So this is what I did. I was, learning at the time the functional nutritional counseling piece, and so I was like, I'm very dedicated. Look at me. Look at the teacher in me. I'm going to be so good. I was so careful, and I was thought I could be so careful, and in 6 weeks this will be gone. This is the big, I want to say, myth around it is that it may take a few times, or just I'll share at the end. It can be a lot easier. So I don't know if this is anybody, if Regan, Terry, Heather, have you been really good and following a protocol really well and it's not working? Let me know. So this is November 2023. We're still in 2023, and I had to do 2 separate breath tests, but this is still showing elevated levels. Oh, and then this one, because I'm such a good student, I went and bought a lab test that was not an in-home test, so I could have physician oversight. And you can't see it here, but it says supported. So I definitely had elevated levels of methane. So I'm like, all right, next level. I'm going to do the elemental diet. And that's 14 days of eating this shake. So every morning you like make this thing and you drink it. Yikes. So January, I test and I'm getting the lowest levels I've had. All right. So I think I'm a healed. I'm a healed. Um, Success, right? It's done. It's over with. I did it. If anybody knows the hero's journey, this is where I was next. At the bottom of the hero's journey. This is me next month in the Hawaiian Islands, having just gone to urgent care. I'm up, but I can't hear anything. I couldn't go out on any excursions. My husband had to go out on the excursions alone. I was so scared to get back on the flight because I thought it was an ear infection and it was going to pop. Well, I learned that I had SIFO. So after this elemental diet, it fed my my small intestinal fungal overgrowth. So what I'm doing right now is peeling off Malaysia fungus from my scalp, and it was so bad that I thought it was an ear infection because my hearing all during my time in Hawaii was that my ears were completely plugged. So this is what's called small intestinal fungal overgrowth, and they typically go together with SIBO or IMO, which is why I'll share that adding the oregano oil and or Saccharomyces boulardii, which like every naturopath and functional person usually prescribes antimicrobials for this. If you have SIFO, then it can cause the die-off, and the Malaysia fungus basically traveled up my vagus nerve and out my brain and out my ears. And when I went to urgent care, of course, they thought that it was an ear infection when really, so they gave me a prescription for amoxicillin, and amoxicillin is actually fungal based. So I was, and corticosteroids, which was also driving more fungus into my experience. So that was probably going on for about 3 or 4 months. How do you know if you have SIFO? And a lot of actually my clients have shared some of these. So this may be you. There's not an exact like symptom tracker piece. It's better to just take a gut test to determine if you have the candida or the yeast or some of the fungus that could be contributing to this gut dysbiosis. So skin rashes, eczema, particularly with SIBO, allergic reactions, sinuses and gut. So if you have those food sensitivities, if you have ulcerative colitis, Crohn's, Hashimoto's, and if you have abdominal discomfort, bloating, diarrhea, gas, if you have sugar cravings, that could be the fungal overgrowth, anxiety, mood swings, and fatigue. So this is not my client's photo, but I showed her this photo and she was like, that's exactly my skin. So she got back from Costa Rica and for months living down there, but this Malaysia fungus is found on the highest concentrations of the skin, and it creates this discoloration called tinea versicolor. So think about toenail fungus, think about reoccurrent UTIs. These are all things that my clients have reported in the past that have fungal overgrowth. This is also what showed up on my scalp. So fungal facts, weirdly, the gut is compromised of the bacteria, just trillions of viruses, and then fungi and archaea, which I talked about. But the fungi only make up less than 0.1% of the microbiota, and this is actually a National Geographic picture of it from Dr. Jeffrey Bland's one of his trainings, and it was like, oh my gosh, there it is, like living inside the bacteria. So these are these little cones. That's the fungi. So we can be exposed, through soil, air, surfaces, and so yeah, it's Candida is a species of fungi that are found in the environment, also in the human body. Okay, so those were some pictures, and so you can know, like, all right, do I have any of those symptoms with SIBO? And I'm hoping that you understand you need to have either a gut test or a breath test to determine if you have it. Now I'm going to ask you guys, I'm going to get into the treatment piece. I'm actually right on time. Love this. So I'll make sure to answer any questions here in about like 4 minutes. All right. So here are my breath tests from last year. So what happened is like, I'm a healed. And that was 2024, January 2024. Yeah. So then this past year, I've been making my yogurt and doing my probiotics and did all the things, and it came back. So the hallmark symptoms for me is the constipation and the bloating in my case. For some people, it's the diarrhea and constipation swing, or just it could be any number of the hallmark symptoms, but that's what I typically hear from people. So I tested and I was like using my food marble, and now they have parts per million on the food marble at home. So I feel really confident just using that instead of going out and getting a single lab test. Anyway, so this is part of what makes testing for SIBO easier. So look at all my levels. Anything above a 10 is considered positive or supported for intestinal methane overgrowth. So I was like, but I didn't wig out this time. I didn't wig out this time because I was like, no, I know what to do here. So in 10 weeks, I tested again, and look at all my levels dropped significantly. So the goal isn't to have a perfect breath test, it's to have symptoms be better by 90% and to have lowered breath levels. So for me, this is a success, and I go by my symptoms, and to see some data is really fun to show. So this is what I did. Everyone will tell you eat a low FODMAP. Has anyone tried on this call right now a low FODMAP diet? Let me know. It's basically stopping the fermentation. And if you see the list, and I will share the list with you. It's in my protocol. Let's see if anybody's done it. Nope, makes me sad. That's how I feel, Terry. Okay. I looked at the list of the low FODMAP and literally went like this. It was like, no effing way. This is everything I eat. So like onions, mushrooms, garlic. I mean, I'm a little Italian Latina that lives inside me, and it would be impossible. And so the best thing that I learned from Dr. or she's not a doctor, Siobhan Sharna, who works with Dr. Allison Seebecker, she has a book called Healing SIBO. She's like, you can't eat your way out of this. So for any of the people that, if you want, some people like structure and they're like, just give me a diet. Well, here it is. And for the people that are like, yeah, no, I'm like, good, don't forget it because it doesn't work. You have to do something different. So a lot of doctors, licensed providers that can prescribe obviously are like, well, we can just get you a script of Rifaximin, which is an antibiotic, and you can, have it be gone in 2 weeks. Well, what I've heard, keep hearing from the people that I follow is that, then you're on 4 rounds of it. It's like it doesn't actually really go away. You just have this reoccurring. It just comes back, and then you get a script and it comes back. So you're really not regenerating the microbiome. So this is not just one thing. I'm going to show you my protocol, but this was recently updated in Dr. William Davis's Super Gut book or Super Gut protocol. This is the HU58. This is a B subtilis. This is a probiotic strain that is a bactericidin. Now, if you're like, oh, Taylor, what? This is basically a natural antibiotic. Has 7 different bactericidin abilities. And oh man, like I'll probably have B subtilis in my life for the rest of my life. I'm so thrilled with this new piece to it. So I am just going to show you quickly, if you guys are okay with what my program looks like. Regan, you can absolutely weigh in. But Heather, I want you to show you what it is, and then I'll share the link to the protocol that you guys can have and the article that I just wrote. So if that's okay, let me know in the chat if you guys are okay with that. It'll just take 3 minutes. Okay. So when it comes to having SIBO resolved and replenishing the microbiome, it's not just this one and done process. So we do need to look at lifestyle. And you guys, I'm sure, are doing all the right things. I'm learning, and this has also been humbling, that we need a regulated nervous system in order for treatment to work best. So it doesn't matter where you go for somatic support, but basically, is it yoga? Is it your treatment provider for somatics? Is it your acupuncturist? Is it horse therapy? Is it plant medicine? Is it EMDR? Whatever it is, that consistent nervous system regulation could be brain tap, which is what I use in the mornings and the evenings. That needs to go along with the support and the treatment, because this allows your body to get into safety. And then you want to get the right support. So the support is the root cause support. It's Dr. Mike Hyman had a post yesterday. It's not alternative medicine, it's good medicine. And I was like, thank you, Dr. Mark. So that you can expand. And so this is levels of, growth that we have, that we can experience when we get into safety, resolve the root cause. We can start to have these optimized levels of health. And so this is, an example. You can go like Kim, who had severe mold toxicity, who's stepping into 2025 with health and happiness. And it really does, the beauty of resolving these root cause issues. She's better for it. So this is how we do it. There's this allostatic load. It's like all these things are contributing to our toxic bucket, including gut dysbiosis. So this is how I'm going to make it easy, is I check the size of your bucket, and I do this with a genetic report, and it gets sent to your door. And then you learn your food sensitivities, and then we understand you and your health story. And we look at where you're wanting to prioritize your health. We regulate the nervous system with somatic exercises, and then we move through these root cause steps. It's called Heal Seal for the Real Deal Gut and Detox and Nervous System Reset Program. And we meet weekly online it's a 6-month program. I changed it up. Regan, it's a lot longer because I believe that it's going faster doesn't help. Training and Q&A sessions online, some more ways to track your nervous system, symptom tracker, and then my workbook is now 60 pages. It also includes a lifetime discount support, and I'm happy to get on a call with you to kind of customize what the program looks like. And so this is, that's an old slide with Dr. Amy, but go ahead and take the what's your gut type, or I'm going to stop my share and send you the link to the protocol. So the protocol is what I normally just offer paid clients for after their gut test. But I want to say thank you to those of you that hung back and joined me. Oops, where is my link? Here it is. Thank you, thank you, thank you to you all. Let's see if I can show it. So this is exciting. So I am going to, so this is where you can get testing. Just remember some basics around before you get into any supplement. Regan, this is a reminder for you. But this is basically the protocol is I'm using the long fermented yogurt and this elemental diet that's not Dr. Ruscio's. I'm sure he's fixed it by now, but basically this one is shown not to have enough. It doesn't have the glucose that feeds the fungal overgrowth. I was very happy with it when I used it during my 10 weeks. And then some lab test recommendations, how to use the food marble, all the links for the food marble, how to read your own test at home, and like basically what to do for SIBO. Okay, we have about 4 minutes. So ladies, talk to me. How was it? What'd you learn? Yes. Regan. Oh my gosh, so nice to see you.
Hi.
Hi.
I have not looked in a mirror today. Sorry.
It's 8:56. You're still good.
But I'm here. Thank you so much for that. As always, you are just a plethora of information.
Oh,
I think it's good my mom and I are hearing this multiple times because we're getting more and more out of it. Stuff's making sense.
yes.
First, I want to give you a hug because the honeymoon stuff and the the fungal overgrowth, that just makes me so sad for you. But
Yeah. It was
I,
it was brutal. It was brutal. There was a lot of
oh,
tears. There was a lot of frustration. So yeah, like I get it.
mm. So just a couple questions. I know that the order of healing is super important.
Yes.
It would be easier just to do it all at once, but I know you have to go in order. And
Yes.
the drainage and making sure those pathways are open, that's like huge, right?
Huge.
So and I know that the protocol's on there, but just to ask you, besides like lymphatic drainage and doing things to seal the gut, what else what else is super necessary but like before you start taking any supplements or anything like that, to make sure that everything's draining
Well, I love this because I see the sealing the leaky gut at the end.
at the
So,
end?
yeah, so like actually you would do all the root cause work, SIBO work, and then seal gut.
Oh, okay.
So that's why like the if you can log back into the program, girl, I have made it so good.
Okay.
So, and I have a new AI assistant in there who's been trained for 7 years of my 7 years of work. And so you can start to ask her anything you want anytime. But as far as the drainage, the biggest thing is going back to like, okay, monitoring my stool with the Bristol stool chart and just being like, okay, what's the frequency? What does it look like? What color, all texture, all these things, because ideally you're working on this while you're doing the SIBO long fermented yogurt, the probiotic piece, and the elemental piece. So what I've basically, in summary with this, what I learned is it's enough to do the probiotics. It's enough to do the probiotics and the elemental diet.
Wow. And that's the HU
It's the
58.
HU58 and then all the other ones that are on the protocol. So that's where it gets a little like sometimes, you know, like you can try this all yourself, but it starts to get tricky. This is where come back to the membership and just get on the live calls because that's where sometimes it gets a little weird, wonky. But this is what was so exciting is that I learned that this new super SIBO yogurt and the elemental was enough
Wow.
to clear breath levels. And
Super,
I,
super refreshing to hear that, to see that X over the low FODMAP diet, by the way.
right, right. And another
Yes.
naturopath is confirming this. I saw her interviewed by Dr. Allison Seebecker, and she basically confirmed my exact process that she's doing with clients. So that's why I felt confident to
Ah,
be like, okay, I'm doing it.
amazing.
So
Oh,
I want
thank
to
you so
hear,
much.
I want to hear your journey. You better keep me posted.
Yeah. And then just the last thing, you said that a lot of naturopaths and people just do the oil of oregano. Why is that a mistake?
Oh, the
Is it just because,
antimicrobials. Yeah,
yeah.
because if you have SIFO, the
If
fungal piece,
uh-huh.
it's just going to lead to a bunch of die-off, and it creates havoc if you have the overgrowth of the fungal overgrowth.
Uh-huh.
And so that's why I feel like the antimicrobials, just be cautious.
Okay. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Have you tested for your breath yet?
So I don't think I have it, but my mom definitely does. And yes, I sent her a breath test and she did it and yay, yep.
Oh,
For sure.
Terry. Yeah, that makes so much sense with the chronic pain. Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
So awesome. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited for you, Terry. You keep me posted too.
I'll keep you posted through her. She's kind of a baby with
Yeah.
technology and, and stuff. So
She's got a
um
great advocate in you. Thank you, Regan.
yeah, of course, of course.
Heather, if I see you still here, I would love to hear from you if you're willing to take yourself off mute. You don't have to have your camera on, whatever you want.
Hi, Taylor. How are you?
I'm so well. How are you?
Good. Okay, trying to stay warm. I'm from Pennsylvania.
Oh,
So
girl. Yeah. Well, you've got
we've
some
gotten hit with
Minnesota's.
the snow, and we're on 2-hour delays here because of the ice that now has happened, and it's feeling like negative degrees here. So it's very, very cold here. I'm in a small town in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania. So I
Wonderful.
don't know if you're familiar with Pennsylvania, but basically I'm where the Amish and Mennonite community is at.
Yes.
So
Well,
that's
I
where
I have family in Illinois and near an Amish and Mennonite community as well. And so during Christmas, we'll get cookies because they're the best.
they are. They are. Considering I basically all the foods around here are a lot of Pennsylvania Dutch foods. So that's what I was born and raised with and yada yada. But I wanted to, I saw the whole event on Eventbrite, and it just piqued some interest. Just, I'm the type of person that likes to learn about things. And I've always, I had to be my own health advocate for a lot of things because,
Amen.
like you, during 2020, I ended up falling and had a chronic condition, and the doctors didn't want to fully listen for years and years. And when I fell, it got worse, and I ended up with lymphedema bad in my legs. So when you were talking about the lymphatic system and stuff, I know about that very much because I deal with it every single day of my life now. And it's taught me to be humble. But I do have so I'm just learning about this because my mom has a chronic condition of fibromyalgia. So when you said that at the beginning, but I do understand about the leaky gut and so forth. My question to you, because I would go to my doctors a lot and they will always say, well, just back off on the lettuce and stuff like that. I love salads, but salads do not love me.
I
I
hear you.
get very sick from eating salad. And I mean, it's one of those things if I can't go out to a restaurant and eat a salad, or if I do, I have to make sure I go back home because I will end up getting sick from it. And I saw your picture with the salads and the yogurt. And my question to you, is that a normal, because I'm just slowly learning, is that a normal issue with eating salads? Okay.
Yeah, that we can't handle the prebiotic fiber. It just is it basically the fermentation starts to happen in our gut, and then we're just totally feel distension and bloating and all those uncomfortable feelings. So when your doctor says back off the lettuce, they're right in the sense that the fiber is what's causing the bacteria, feeding the bacteria that
Mhm.
overgrowth and then causing that fermentation. And, that's why the low FODMAP diet, if you just to take a look at it, it's linked in that protocol just to see like, oh, maybe some of these things that I'm eating are contributing to this fermentation in my gut.
Okay. Well, thank you so much.
Oh my gosh, you're such a pleasure. And funny enough, I mean, Terry, if you want to share, what's funny is Heather's mom has fibromyalgia. And so she's working with her around that. And so I just find it funny that both daughters are on here advocating for their moms. It's beautiful.
And my mom loves salads, so that's I would love to ask about that. If she didn't give them up completely, can she do something before eating, like bitters or digestive enzymes or something that are going to help get that salad through there without as much damage?
Yeah. So uh, the the whole idea is when you have the dysbiosis resolved or the SIBO resolved, you can start to have a lot more food freedom from the sensitivities and the bloating and the fiber. You can eat more of the fiber. It's so nice to not like the beans, it's like, oh. So digestive enzymes are going to help, particularly with removing those biofilms. And you can absolutely take those 30 minutes before. If you're still on your code complex, Terry, they're still they have digestive enzymes in there. I'm trying to think of like any like things that worked for me before I ate, and I just was kind of, oh, okay, you don't feel bad with the salad. Okay, that's great. So that's what's interesting is I'm curious just to hear if you have any of the diarrhea, constipation that's kind of a hallmark for SIBO.
She does deal with some constipation, but I think her biggest complaint right now is the distension.
Mm-hmm. And did she test with the hydrogen or test with the methane?
T, do you remember?
Motility, yeah. Yeah. So then I think Regan, you're right with like doing the bitters and helping with that bile flow, so that it's just going to help with that drainage, getting that moving again. Because with motility being slow and that that's definitely a key piece, especially if we have thyroid issues, Terry.
Mm. From what I remember of her breath test, it's the more normal one. Is that methane?
No, it's the hydrogen.
Oh, okay. I feel like it was the more common one.
Yeah.
I was looking for the picture she sent, but I can't find it. So yeah, I think it was that.
So did you lead her through like basically the root cause pieces? Has she done any of that?
Well, I was in the middle of looking up. I know you gave me a poop test to do, and it was super expensive, super extensive. So I was just looking for something a little less. But if you think like Viome is not specific enough, not the way to go, then I'll go back and look at that poop test, and maybe we'll do that for her as well. But
Yeah, that will be helpful just to see the levels of inflammation and stuff too. You got nervous?
she gets nervous,
Yeah.
but she'll do anything. Well, whatever I tell her to do. So I will. I mean, I need to go back and look through the whole program, the whole protocol, and just see.
Yeah, like pop in there and I think that's the thing, Terry, what I'm learning from the health coaching piece is like, just it's like what's the low-hanging fruit? Like what can you do right now? So like I think about Heather just looking at the low FODMAP. Like that might be just an interesting step. Maybe it's just documenting and journaling first and then figuring out like what would be easy and appropriate for you for the next step because I think this process is just like that picture that I showed of like the person there in front of all her lab work and like all these things to do. It's our natural inclination is want to do all the things all at once, right, Regan? And it's like we've got to just slow it down because being overwhelmed, then you don't do anything. Heather, yes, come
I
off.
have one last question for you
Oh
because
my
I do
gosh,
have
I
to
love that
get.
you're hanging around. You're a learner. Gosh, so fun. Go ahead.
I have to get going very soon, but I do
Yeah.
have a last question for you. I love, because of the region where I live too, I love pickled beets.
Yes. Yum.
Is that is that something I shouldn't be eating, or is that okay to have? Because I don't seem to get sick off that.
Good.
So,
That was going to be my question. Like
okay.
if you feel immediately like you're like, oof, I could not do the kombucha, the
Yeah, that got
anything
my,
fermented was
yeah.
causing just complete distension and farting and flatulence and bloating. So if you can have your fermented beets, oh my gosh, so supportive for the microbiome. Hooray.
And see, I love sauerkraut too because we're known for that too. However, I have to be very careful when it comes to that at times.
Yeah.
But yeah, so thank you so much. You've been so informative. I greatly appreciate your time and taking the time to inform us all on this. And I greatly appreciate it. I do have to go, but I thank you so much.
I thank you so much, Heather, for being here. Sending you lots of warmth from San Diego.
Thank you.
Bye, sweets. Okay. Mom and daughter.
Woo!
Woo! Any last bits that you have questions on? I hope you go through that protocol and just see what you think.
Will you remind me again? You had mentioned last time the drink that you suggested after doing the kind of antibiotic type stuff.
The
Do you know what I'm talking
elemental.
about?
Yeah, elemental.
Is it like I don't know. Is it yogurty? What is it?
So I still recommend it, and it's called M-Biota, and it's linked in the protocol, and it's basically like a meal replacement, but it's designed for SIBO, IBS, irritable bowel, all the Crohn's, colitis, all the things.
But don't start it until you've taken care of the, well, that's not something to do right now, right?
Well, so like if I was to wave a magic wand, Regan, and be like, okay, everybody pencils down, you know, like let's just go do it once and do it right. You know, it would be get the nervous system support, do the root cause work, and then do all the work to support and regenerate the microbiome and then seal the gut.
And the Imbiota is like step 3
And
in,
biota, yeah, is going
okay,
to be after the root cause.
right. Okay.
That's
Okay.
just that's my little process, and thank you for being a little advocate for the work. And if you guys want, or if you want to get in, Regan, I'm doing the alumni. You get the 175 or 179, whatever, just to get on the live calls. That might be helpful because just you pop in whenever you feel like it. So
Okay.
I'll make sure that you get that link just in case you're like, it'd be nice just to pop in and check in on the process with a coach as I move through this with Mama.
Wonderful. Yeah, that sounds good.
Oh, Terry, it's a pleasure. Thank you. I appreciate your sticking in it, lady. It's like this is the thing is just you got to keep circling the wagons. It's all right. Just do what feels best and what your next best step is. You totally got this. And you've got a great advocate.
Oh, thank you, Taylor.
Okay, big hugs to you.
Yes,
Stay
I
warm.
miss seeing you.
I know. That's another reason why just come to live class. It's on Mondays.
Okay.
Just pop in whenever you feel like it.
Okay, I will. Thank you.
Bye, babes.
Bye.